watching a video by Someguy827, who is the fellow who brought to my attention, amongst all you Gamergator people on YouTube, all of you, every last single one, Mundane Matt, Sargon of Akkad, you name it, pro Gamergators, every last single one of them fucking dropped the ball. Every last single one, down to the last, dropped the ball. Didn't do the internet journalism thing that they're on about. They didn't fucking do it. They skipped that part of the class. You want to know who didn't? You want to know who was on that shit when I was doing other fucking things other than that? Stevie Cybernetic. Someguy827. Yep. That dude. He was the one that showed me the truth about the matter and provided the correct links so that I could verify that this is just like what I've dealt with on the blogs a million goddamn times. That people fucking redact the internet. They change the rules. They get rid of the site that shows what's up. And all you get left with is follow the money. And that's what I do, and I don't think Stevie does that. But that's not what his video was about. It wasn't a Gamergate thing per se. It was about MrRepzion and a video I haven't watched yet of his about the FBI or something. So I can address that issue when I know more about it. As to the general topics that Stevie's discussing there, he's talking about how Repzion's kind of a sleaze whore. Well, you know what? Everyone's kind of a sleaze whore except for like you and a couple other people, Stevie. Like I am, he is, TJ is, you know, it's like there's a long list of people here where we do the whoring thing. But, you know, call us out on our cases, like make a point about it. The ricin and I'm gonna kill myself shit is stuff I could look into more. But I do remember that whole suicide thing when that happened. Old news here. And yeah, it wasn't quite what he said. He was basically just being way too suicidal ideation for like what's proper on the internet. But there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the kind of content I wouldn't produce. It's the kind of thing where if he was part of my production studios and he ran that by me as an editor, I would be like, don't fucking run this. And he's not doing that. He's the same thing as I am. He's just some guy who frickin' does shit on the internet, just like you, some guy, you know? So that's the thing I'm addressing there is, yeah, Daniel's done some really weird shit and said a lot of really weird shit online, but every time he's asked to like back the fucking shit up, he either backs the hell off of it or he fucking is like, yeah, whatever about it. So I don't condone like every goddamn thing he's ever done, like his conduct. But if you go through and watch his shit, almost all of his stuff, when it's not like woe is me kind of thing, is just him talking and just giving commentary and shit. And that's fine. You know, like the fact that we can all like later after the fact be like, oh, remember that ricin thing, remember that suicide thing, like that's his fucking calling his ass out process. You know, and until he does something like absolutely fucking atrocious, I'm not gonna be like, this guy's awful. It's just, you know, what's his ethics as a broadcaster? You know, ask me a question like that, not that good. Really not that good. But as just like an entertainer and a commentator and someone that can relate to others about things that maybe others don't relate to someone like Someguy827 about, that he's really good at that. So he plays at his demos or whatever you want to call them. He does his thing quite well. And the main issue is one of ethics and validity of his statements and shit like that. And that's really hard to pin down, but if someone wants to get specifics and not just bring up old dramas, I'm happy to do that. About a fellow who makes some damn good music, if you ask me. Called Stevie Cybernetic, known here on the YouTubes by the name Someguy827. You might have noticed, if you've been following my content very closely, that he was referenced in podcast episode 0 as someone to refer to about the Gamergate thing. And his other stuff is a lot of crap where he goes after other YouTube users. That's fine with me, obviously. I had no problem with that. But I can't raise him up to the blog industry standards here. Like, no, he's very YouTube industry standards there. He's just kind of talking and just kind of saying his piece, and that's fucking cool with me. You can't catch me doing the, hey, you can't say that routine. Like, no, that's not my point. But I think a lot of the time he's more focused on, like, I really don't like this person, more than he's trying to make, like, a case. But he makes a case anyway, and, you know, it's the sort of thing where now he's made a case, and I'm gonna respond to it, which has to do with this thing with MrRepzion posting a video I haven't watched yet about the FBI contacting him or something like that. And I don't know, this all circles around to the beginning of the Anita Sarkeesian fiasco stuff, where it's like, look, there is a legal proper procedure about this. If you get a death threat in your email, your inbox, in the comments, anywhere where it's directed at you and it's a threat on your life, the proper, you know, legal procedure at this point is to break all contact with that person, block them, whatever, break all contact, save the communique to your hard drive with like a time date stamp thing associated with it. All websites do that these days. You won't have to write your own. You know, get it on there, save the whole web page right onto your hard drive if you have to. If that kind of copy pasting thing stuff confuses you, there's a thing in your browser that'll let you like save the entire web page like as it is right now. That should do it. You know, having like a hard copy is a big part of this. Take that hard copy to the FBI, to your local police department who's just going to refer you to the FBI. So just take it to the FBI, email it to them. Is a good way to do that since it's all internet time. Stick on the internet, email it to them, and break contact with that person, and that's it. And they will look into it. They will see if there are similar type things in their database. They will look around. They'll check this person's criminal record. They'll do all kinds of stuff at the government, authority, criminal justice level, or they won't. But you did your part. That's what you did. And I don't know what MrRepzion is saying. Essentially, Someguy827 is trying to conclude, based off that video, that he did not in fact contact the FBI, or that the FBI did not contact him, I believe is the point. That's possible, but that's a very fucking specific claim. Just like how MrRepzion should do a better job, like recording his communiques or telling us exactly what time and shit like that. I'm sure he didn't do that before I even watch his video. I can fucking guarantee you that Daniel did not approach this like a fucking journal. Like, I fucking can guarantee you that right now without watching the video. But, you know, a very specific claim, like I talked to the FBI today, is a very specific thing to say, and to specifically dismiss that as nonsense is fine for him, but not for me. I don't know, is my response to this whole thing thus far, is I don't fucking know. Did he or did he not? I don't know. I wasn't in the damn room with him. He probably didn't, like, provide the kind of data that I might use to kind of reverse track the whole situation and try and see if, as a investigative journalist type, more than credentialed to do it, if I could get the FBI to confirm or deny this with me. They'll do that kind of thing, people. They really will. They won't talk about anything under penalty of law. No law enforcement anywhere in the United States will talk about ongoing cases and details with you unless you have power of attorney in the case. It's none of your damn business. But things like, did this person contact you? I'm trying to find out for the purposes of accuracy in journalism. You know, it's like they don't have to do it, but we all live in the same damn country that has the same damn laws on the books and stuff. If they're knocking me down and saying, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, when I'm using valid legal procedures and my First Amendment rights and my credentials as a existing broadcaster to come to them with something and asking them to verify information for me, and they blow me the fuck off, they know full well I'll just turn around and tell you guys about it. Like, they know that full well. They get that just fine. And then it's just an issue of how much does that bug them. That there's going to be some podcast or some blogs or something that are all linked and aren't going to fucking die tomorrow. They're going to be there for as long as those sites exist. So yeah, it's something where there's a way to do this beyond just bitching at each other back and forth through the internet like I'm doing right now. And I don't think many people are all that invested in it any which way. In all parties involved, I don't think anyone fucking cares about that. They just want the thing to yell at, to get pissed about. Now with Stevie Cybernetic, Someguy827, you have a little different thing. You gotta watch like all of his videos to get this, so I'll just like sum it up for you. He's one of those people who's a little bit like me, where he's being realistic about his internet content. He's not on there like MrRepzion is, kind of thinking he's starting a new digital era around his YouTube channel, or some other such thing that I've heard MrRepzion kind of allude to about his own content. No, he gets it. Just like how his name is, he's some guy on the internet. One of his taglines is, I'm some guy on the internet and so are you. Which is a good tagline, except some of us have vaginas and I'm not one of them, so they're not some guys on the internet, those are some ladies. But it's the same damn thing that he's making it a point there, which is, you know, you don't fucking run a media empire. No, you fucking don't. You're a goddamn e-fame person. Do you know how fast we die in the internet internet world of dying? Like, do you know how fast we fucking die? Like, just zippity-doo-dah, you're dead. You know, and it has nothing to do with, oh my God, you did a video about cutting. Oh my God, you talked about ricin and suicide online. No, that's not it at all. It's just, you got boring. You changed your tune from whatever it was, what am I doing, media critique and comedy and random bullshit. You know, you change that over to, now I'm only going to talk about feminism. Now I'm only going to talk about liberalism. Now I'm only going to talk about music. You know, it's like the second you do that from whatever you started from, people tend to be kind of like, yeah, fuck you, if they were part of your initial fan base. And that's just how e-fame type shit works. Where, you know, you get a certain number of people who give about your stuff because you gave a crap about your stuff and they wanted to see more of your crappy stuff, and then you got a bunch of crappy stuff, or maybe some good stuff. But whatever it is, you were doing something. They got you that internet audience. You did not create an internet audience by fucking starting your goddamn account. That's not where you got it. You got it when you made some videos, when you wrote some blogs, when you posted some shit to Tumblr. That's when you got your internet audience. Well, if you massively change tone and tune and what you're doing, if you completely reorchestrate your studio production studios around another fucking idea all of a sudden, then yeah, people are going to be like, what the fuck, and you'll probably lose your internet audience, or it'll grow or shrink or whatever. And that's all we're doing. And so there is kind of a thing where there's like this silly idea in some people's heads who are successful at doing what I'm doing, that they're like changing the fucking world or something. And it's like, no, you're fucking not. I never see change.org petitions. I never see shit other than somebody else's project going on there where MrRepzion is supporting it. Well, that's fucking awesome. I don't know a lot about all the things that he's done, but that's fucking awesome if he wants to raise money for Africa, or if he wants to be part of some kind of initiative. That's fucking awesome that he uses his e-fame in that way. But it is just e-fame, you know? It is just, hey, everyone read this petition, please sign. Hey, everyone, please give money to these things because they're good. That's it. You're just a dude on the street corner holding out fucking flyers. That's all you're fucking doing. So I agree with Stevie Cybernetic on that level. That, you know, until you're published and, you know, doing what he does with music, like until you're at that stage, you really need to fucking calm the hell down about what the hell you're doing online. Specifically online here. You really need to calm the hell down. And that's a message I've shared with Daniel through the comments more than once. I have no idea if he reads my comments. I have no idea if anyone reads my fucking comments. He probably does, because he's a fellow commenter. He's around. He puts in a comment at all kinds of places all over the internet. That's probably why he has read some of my comments at some point, because I read his, and I see him popping up on the videos that I'm watching too. And a lot of people don't like that. They're like, oh, he needs to just stay quiet. And that's totally like, yeah, fuck you guys so hard. Fuck you so hard if that's your point. Like, really? Like, aren't you leaving fucking comments? Aren't you fucking cutting videos or whatever? Maybe. You know, you're on the damn website doing shit, and then you're bitching at people who are on the damn website doing shit because they're doing shit on the website. It's like, that's fucking so stupid. Address what the hell they said in the comments. Come up with a fucking joke about their video. You know, like, do something with it. Just sitting there, like, bitching that the dude fucking uses the text format of the website while he's also making videos is just the dumbest crap I've ever heard. It helps you get heard better, you dinguses. Yeah, that's the point. That's what we do. We're communicators. We like to be heard when we're communicating. Yeah, death threats are a real thing. I have no doubts that Anita Sarkeesian gets an amazing number of them, like, per day. But she also did that thing which a lot of people call trolling. You know? Like, that's what she fucking did. This came up more than once on internet threads and shit talking about her. Where it's like, oh, she's not, you know, her fans will try and say, like, oh, she's not really, like, fully a public figure, therefore criticisms of her are kind of nuts and, like, out of place. And, oh, she never tried to, like, stir up animosity. She just kind of, like, did her thing, and then everyone got so angry. And it's like, no, like, her whole fucking thing was, let's take the biggest entertainment industry that exists, that's new, right now, and let's call every one of the consumers, all of them, just about, sexist. All of them. All you boys at home enjoying the same video games that I own, you're all potential rapists. Like, that was her fucking point. And then on top of that, layered on top of that, she does the thing that I won't do, that a lot of YouTubers do, not just her, which is shut the fucking comments down on videos where you're making, like, a hardcore point about something. I think I've mentioned this before. I don't know if it's in the podcast cuts or not, but yeah, there'll come a time maybe, like really big maybe here, that I will turn off comments on like one specific video. That will be because I just talked about how someone got killed in my neighborhood. That will be shit like I'm talking about my friends who have been raped and shit like that, where there is no fucking anything you have to say about it that anybody wants to hear, except one little thing, which is the like or the dislike button. That's it. That's the only input I'm accepting on something that heavy and that crazy is, do you think I should have said that on the internet or not? That's it. Everything else that's not like murder and death and rape in the real world, in my real life, shit like that is all open comments. Well, that's fucking not Anita Sarkeesian's standard. Her standard is, if anybody's gonna fucking disagree with me at all, even in a reasonable context, even in a very fair, sourced manner, she doesn't want to fucking hear it. She doesn't want any part of it. She doesn't want it connected to her content. She doesn't want it anywhere near her. Well, that's what pisses people off, is you're saying, hey, fuck you guys, you're sexist, and then you're not even letting us, like, under the same video come in and be like, no, here's some reasons why that's not true. And that's it, and that's why she's so hated at the beginning, was, I'm gonna get on the internet and say, fuck you fucking sexist gamers, you guys suck. Here's a bunch of shit that doesn't work scientifically that I'm saying about it as if it was science when it's not. You know, that was her point. And she shut down all the comments and forced people like me and tons of others that did not want to send her death threats at any point, and we never feel like that, ever, in regards to figures like her. Like, we never, ever feel this desire, like, oh, she needs to know that, like, you know, her death would be amazing, and, it's like, that is a fucking total loser. Everyone doing that are total fucking losers. They are the people where if they all have heart attacks right now while they're hearing this, the world's better off for it. So no, that is not the issue. Death threats and Anita Sarkeesian and all these things, that just happens on the internet, period. And the more that you're like, I'm a douchebag, fuck you guys, and then close down the ability for people to be like, no, 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 that whole thing, the comments will be fucking open. Stephen Molyneux fans are free to jump in and be like, no, you're so fucking wrong about this guy. No, no, no. The social contract, blah, blah, blah. Feel fucking free. Because that's a pretty, you know, touchy thing that I'm doing there. That was like, he's popular. A lot of people are libertarians. A lot of people identify anarcho-capitalists. And I'm calling y'all dumbasses. So, yeah, go ahead. You know, come on back. Tell me what you're thinking. So that's, I think, the kind of crux without watching the video. The whole crux of the thing is MrRepzion does a very similar kind of thing as Anita Sarkeesian does, even though they're big critics back and forth. They're very fucking similar in the way how they run their media empires. You know, they kick up dirt just like I do. And the difference is MrRepzion has his fucking comments open. At least every goddamn time I've ever looked at one of his videos, I can say something underneath it. Like, what was one that came up? The Sam Pepper, Lacey Green thing. There we go. He was totally with the, like, kill Sam Pepper side of it. Just kill him. You know, I'm exaggerating, but he was on the, you know, Peppa gonna die kind of side of these things. And I was in his comments like, hey, dude, like, this is now legal time crap. This is now not bantering about who fucking sucks more. This is now legal time shit. I think, I'm not sure on this to this day, but I think he filmed the sexual harassment / comedy video thing on the, you know, grounds of the state of California. Well, we have rules about that here in California because this is like the entertainment capital of the fucking planet. We have rules about this shit. If you want to monetize something, is the way we say it on the internet. If you want to make money off of your original content, and there's people other than you in the content, it's not just you in there, you have to either get a verbal or written agreement from them before you publish it. And online publishing counts. And I'm pretty damn sure that Mr. Sam Pepper ran into some actual legal shit for exactly that. Not the sexual harassment stuff. That was just uncouth and disgusting in my opinion. But it is comedy. He's allowed to do like whatever comedy that's presented as comedy that he's willing to do. That's not the issue for me. The issue is the raw legalities. I don't believe that all the women that appeared in that video signed a fucking consent form or gave a verbal confirmation that they want to be in that fucking video looking like that. So that's my issue there. Well, that wasn't MrRepzion's issue. His was just, this guy's got to go down because his content. And that's a bad fucking position to take. And I brought it up in the comments about how people make fucking false accusations all the goddamn time. And it's not isolated to things like the internet, hey, that guy sucks. It's things like, he raped me. She stole from me. Shit like that. People make it the fuck up, and they use it for their own ends. And so when you're addressing something like the Sam Pepper situation, you need to put on your fucking journalist pants. Even if you don't own a pair, you need to go out and fucking get one at school. Because you're making a fucking idiot of yourself, and you're acting like e-fame and putting videos on the internet is like changing the damn world one way or the other. No, it's fucking not. It's changing your life. Sending you to jail when you break the goddamn laws, making people around you view you differently forever because of something you put on the internet. Like, that's what the hell it is. And he was approaching it through this really dumb lens of like, oh my gosh, this is bad just because he did it. You know, and that was dumb, and I called him out on it. And that's an example of what I'm talking about, where when people want to make like a serious case and raise like people that are, you know, either internet people or real people, or they want to go after like a big gigantic group like gamers or something. They need to fucking let other people engage in their content directly. And the internet generally agrees with me on this. Like, they think that's the right way to do it, is if you're gonna be really critical and like really smash down on someone, you need to give people who see that a chance to kind of voice back at you. And that's the thing that makes people feel like a death threat is like righteous or the good thing to do a lot of the time. More than it's like she's a woman, therefore she gets all these fucking death threats. And MrRepzion's whole point is that, you know, men get death threats too. Yeah, that's my point as well. As a blogger, I've received a number of death threats. As just a, you know, internet user without a blog, I've received a number of death threats. It fucking happens. People hear your liberalism, your atheism, your conservatism, whatever it is, they hear it, and they think to themselves, this can't be on the internet. And they get convinced that the way to get you off the internet is to tell you they're going to kill you. And they'll stop doing it when they fucking realize that it really does happen sometimes that the local police department, led there by the FBI, shows up at your front doorstep, confiscates your computer, and if they can back up what you did with what is claimed, they will arrest you. They will arrest you. And you will go to trial, and you may go to jail over it. So think about that a little bit next time you're going to do a death threat if you're one of those people. Think about that. Is this worth the time? Is it worth it? Do you want to go to jail over this? Backing out, paying attention, not having car wrecks. It's always good. This thing is sitting in the like center console area, by the way, if anyone's very like texting and driving, distracted driving sensitive. This thing is not in my hand. It's not like where it's in my face. It's sitting... God damn it. Fucking shit. Can you get out? Everyone's leaving at the exact same moment I am from the mall. Yeah, it's sitting on the like center console thing, like right by it. I'm just looking around. It looks like I'm talking to myself, to everyone who's like looking at this from the outside in. But yeah, it's not a distracted driving thing. I am checking my mirrors. I'm looking. I know what's happening. I'm just talking to myself in the car is what it all looks like to the rest of the world. And all of you know that it's a podcast that actually was kind of cool and funny, or at least sort of. So yeah, that might happen again here. But what we were talking about was web personalities and legalities, and how a lot of people don't really know what the hell the law says, even among the people that are like lawyers, when we start talking about the internet and what is the internet's like rules on XYZ. It's like, well, there are rules. That is bullshit when people talk about, oh, we're still in the wild west of the internet. Yeah, that's fucking so gone. That is so fucking gone. One of the reasons you know that is gone is that nobody knows what a flame war is except for people like me. Like, that's how you know that's fucking gone, is because it doesn't work anymore. All the shit that was like the ultimate wild, wild west kind of crap, like a real deal flame war, you know, it's like, it's gone. It doesn't fucking happen. Or when it does, the people hosting the popular websites out there just kick it so fast that everyone doing it only gets to feel cool for like 12 to 48 hours. And then all of a sudden, none of their fucking accounts are active. And they all say wrong password. So yeah, exactly. That day is over. When the internet was just this total free-for-all of crazy fuckers and crazy ladies and crazy everybody's just jumping on here and doing whatever they want, breaking every rule in the book, posting all of their, you know, pirate content all over the place. It's like, that day is over. The internet's too big to be like policing every inch of it. But little by little, everything that's Wild Westy, everything that's laissez-faire, unregulated kind of shit is gone. It's done. Or it's getting killed as we speak. So that's just kind of a thing to understand about the internet today, is people like me who aren't, you know, quote unquote professionals at this shit are having a lot of trouble, like, being total fucking crazy asses online. They're trying like nuts, but it's not working. And that's what the whole death threats for Anita Sarkeesian and Daniel and what's his last name? Wurzelbacher. He puts it online so I can do that. Daniel Wurzelbacher and Anita Sarkeesian. You know, why the fuck do these people get death threats? Who cares how many each one of them gets? That's not the issue. Why? Why, goddammit? Why do they get death threats? What the fuck is happening? That's what the fuck is happening. Is the wild, wild west of the internet is done. It's done. People who try and fucking do it find that they find themselves, I don't know, reported and taken off the website when it's really nasty. And by the way, I'm one of the fucking people that reports you when it goes through. I've mentioned that a little bit before. Yeah, that's what that is. You guys do a lot of reporting, and when it's legitimate violations of the terms of service or the laws, I encourage you to do that. But just recognize that without your account being verified on YouTube and being understood in who you are and your address and all that kind of shit like they know with me, you know, like, unless you're doing that, they don't really put a lot of priority into your flag. There's a lot of people who just create a false flag, who just create a false report because they don't like somebody. So that's the thing about the wild, wild west internet. Is one, it's kind of dead, so people go to email and various other means to make death threats and things like that because they can't, it doesn't work when they put it on the video and they're like, everyone kill MrRepzion. It gets fucking kicked, or they make their own video or some kind of blog or something that says the same shit and it gets fucking kicked and they get pissed off and they're like, damn it, I really need people to know about my illegal exploitations of other people. And then they fucking send them an email that says, I'm gonna kill you or whatever. And that's a big element of it, is, you know, we don't put up with that shit. The people that can make a fucking difference about it, yeah, we don't fucking put up with it. And nowadays, websites let us do that. Let us not put up with it. That's one of the fucking goddamn beautiful things about Google internet products. Is these days, they all have that shit. Like, all of them. I addressed this very briefly in my Daniel Wurzelbacher talking over Anita Sarkeesian while I talk over him thing. You know, like, I addressed this there. Like, I don't know about other websites that I don't use, but all the websites that I'm currently using are all doing that for me just fine. I can block people for whatever reason. I can limit how much goes out, you know. It's like I have different feelings about different websites. I've talked about that a little bit. But all the ones that I'm on are all possible to just block these idiots forever. And I don't like this thing where it's like everyone who disagrees with you goes on your block list. That's very big on Twitter. I don't do that. But I also don't at people at Twitter all that much. Like, almost never. Because that's all that fucking happens. Is you at Anita Sarkeesian or something at Twitter and you just go on her block list. So it's a waste of my fucking time. I'm not going to do it. If I can find someone who's not like that and doesn't express those kinds of opinions in regards to the internet content, who's saying all the exact same things Anita Sarkeesian is saying, I probably would have added them like a million goddamn times on Twitter by now. But no, I just use a hashtag, and if people want to fucking read my shit in regards to that, they can just fucking hashtag Gamergate and look at all my shit on Twitter. It's that fucking simple. You know, so there's no real need to be all that direct in your face with it. It's just something people like to do because they feel good about themselves after they do it. And the death threat thing is very similar. It's like there's no need for it. It doesn't do anything ever. In like 99.99% of cases, this is just people fucking being idiots on the internet, nothing more. But that doesn't mean that it's totally irrelevant or something we should never talk about online or something. No. There's shitty people out there who read fucking crap on blogs or watch fucking YouTube videos, and then they decide that it's a great thing to do death threats, and they will find their accounts are very fucking inactive. If they keep that shit up, they will find that the police are knocking on their door and all that kind of stuff, if they keep that shit up. And most of the time, it's just a one-thing deal. It's just someone sent you a death threat, and that's it. And you want to know how I deal with it? You want to know how I've always dealt with it? I delete it. Yeah. I don't respond to them. I don't go to the FBI. I don't make a video about it. Nothing. I just delete it. That's it. One deleted mail. That's it. That's all it is in me, in my world, is, yeah, you sent me a death threat. Delete. Next. That's it. You know, and that's not Daniel's way of dealing with it. I already know that without watching his video. That's not his way of dealing with it. He's gonna fucking do a video about the death threat or something. You know, and it's like, I don't know, if I get a lot of hate mail, I might do similar shit to what he does, like, here's all my hate mail. But I don't really like that kind of shit. It's just kind of like, hey, look, I'm hated kind of thing. It's very done to death more than it's like something that's bad, is basically what I'm saying there. Everyone fucking does that. Everyone's like, look at all my haters, aren't they crazy? You know, I was like, yeah, I've seen this a million fucking times. It's very, very, very boring. Very, very, very done kind of shit. But I might do it if I feel like it. It's not like I'm above it. I'm just saying that it's like, I don't know, that's fucking stupid. Everyone gets hate. Like, everyone gets hate on the internet, just period. If you say anything about anything on the internet, someone's gonna be hating. You know, you post your cat pictures on Tumblr, and somebody's gonna be like, your cat is not what's supposed to be on this website. We're supposed to talk about, what do they do there? A lot of femininity type issues. You know, it's like people are always going to have some goddamn opinion about what you said, and a certain number of them are going to be idiots and just unable to say anything back at you, any kind of constructive criticism, anything to do with the content whatsoever. They can't do it. They're too stupid, or they're just not engaged enough at the moment where they're perfectly intelligent enough to do that, but they're not gonna, because whatever, and yet they still fucking leave a comment like total dick piles. So yeah, it's just something that's part of the internet, that not everyone is held to this absolute fucking perfect standard and in the audience. And then when you flip it around to my side of things, and Daniel's side of things, and Stevie's side of things, where people are making new things and putting them on the internet for free for you to listen to and you to watch. When we do that, there's a whole other element here, and it's a whole other side of things, and that's all I'm getting at, is that, you know, as these content creators go here on YouTube, I'm gonna join the fucking show, and I'm not on anybody's goddamn team. Period. You know? I might even turn down network offers unless they're big enough. I'm not even fucking around. You know? So it's a sort of thing where there's a lot of fucking people who get into the media, have all kinds of different agendas and ideas about what the hell the media is in the first fucking place. And one of the people I tend to agree with on the big broad scope of what the hell the media is kind of stuff would definitely be Stevie Cybernetic. But when you talk about, like, how to run your channel and, like, how to be a person or whatever, you know, I don't think MrRepzion's way out in left field here. I just don't think he's very fucking good at the shit I do. God damn it! God fucking damn it! I think it's a little bit like what I addressed in regards to the gaming controversy top 10 Angry Joe video for 2015 in regards to MrRepzion, that he's not very good at putting on a pair of journalism pants. In fact, he's kind of fucking awful at it. But when it comes time to just make internet content and just do something that your audience wanted to see, well, guess what? Anita Sarkeesian and MrRepzion both get A+. Good for you! Good job, people! Your factual shit is sometimes lacking or sometimes just not even present. But in terms of making a video and having people go, yay for the video, you did it. You succeeded. You won the internet.
Yeah, so watching some guy on the internet's content, Someguy827. And yeah, it's a very, very good point he made. He related it to Alpha Omega Sin. It's something I made recordings about in regards to my attitudes towards networks. It doesn't serve us as business people. He's apparently making money off of music or something, is why he takes up this stance. But yeah, it's something that doesn't serve us as internet creators to run around and be all like, yeah, fuck 'em, yeah, fuck 'em, yeah, fuck 'em, all the goddamn time, or do something like what I'm doing in regards to the Anita Sarkeesian thing, where it's not a fake thing. I'm a blogger. I do it semi-professionally. I'm from the industry, so to speak, is the way to say it. I make money doing it. And I'm not kidding. Like, I will be happy to do a very normal-ass interview with Anita Sarkeesian, what is his name? Josh McIntosh, any of those people. Lee Alexander, like all the ones where Sargon and Repzion and the Amazing Atheist and Thunderfoot and all these fucking people like fucking go crazy over them. Like, I will sit down and talk with these people, and a lot of them don't know that I'm from your hood, as in I'm one of the people that's in the hotbed of liberalism. I lived in San Francisco. I was there. Yeah, I'm not fucking kidding when I say shit like one of Nancy Pelosi's daughters babysat me as a kid, people. I'm way, way closer to their world of the social justice warriors than I am to the world that you're sitting in at home hearing this. I am way, way closer to that than anybody else I've ever heard talk about these people, ever. And it's a serious thing. I'm not kidding. I will do formal, very journalistic style interviews if that's the only thing they'll do. I'd much rather have casual conversations on the record than do that. But I am willing to work with anybody who's willing to work with me. That's called being a broadcaster. That's not what a lot of people are doing on here. A lot of people on here are being entertainers, not broadcasters. I mix that in so the broadcasting doesn't get dry and boring and just me like offering things to people who will never hear them or whatever I was just doing there. You know, it's like I'm keeping things interesting because if I cut out all the you-knows and likes and everything, it sounds so much like frickin' just standard. Turn on the radio. Listen to the guy talk. What have we got here? Oh, look on my, bookmarks here. There's a bunch of liberal stuff and, oh, there's NPR and, oh my gosh. It's like, I'm not going to just regurgitate what I already get in the media onto this fucking thing. And that's what people want. They just want it all regurgitated over and over and over and over and over again. Well, that's the thing with the business models. Is Alpha Omega Sin and MrRepzion and all these people, however they got their audiences going, however that happened, they now are kind of in a position where, like, they should stick to that. And they shouldn't just bounce all around the damn place and be like, well, yesterday I hated Anita Sarkeesian, but today I love her. And we as individuals, us web content creators, we as individuals do change our opinions. We do come to different conclusions. We get more information provided to us, and we have a different stance on things. And if we change what we're doing, there's a blog post I wrote about Rush Limbaugh that touches on exactly this topic. It's an old one, but it's in there. Once you're in broadcasting and you've kind of taken all your big stances, what's mine? Like down with industrial homicide, that kind of thing. And once you've done that, if you want to all of a sudden start working for ExxonMobil after you've gone on about industrial homicide and all this shit, people are going to hate your ass. That's the thing with that guy Alan Colmes, is from time to time, not frequently, and especially not since he's taken a job working for fucking Rupert Murdoch, but, throughout his career as a broadcaster, he's taken up a lot of the same notes that I have about going after the media in general and specific individuals within, going after corporate malfeasance, going after the Republican Party, going after pretty much anyone who's just not backing up their political ideals but still insists that they're a political figure that must be heard and must be known. Yeah, like that's what he did, and then he got on Fox News, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm not really for the ACLU, I'm not really for those things, I just say it. I just talk about how I have a card that says ACLU on it, but when there's an actual, like, American Civil Liberties Union type issue going on, he's on the damn television talking about it like it's no big deal, and then he gets on the radio and talks like it is a big deal. And that's just one of many examples of what Stevie was touching on here, that people in the media get really locked into boxes. And that's the whole thing about networks, is once you're on a network, this changes what I'm doing. Because I'm not on a network. This sounds like this and looks like this, and it's all fun like this. Second I have a network, if I ever get a network, they're going to have things for me to do or have things for me to talk about and stuff, and that's going to get in the way of this if it's a good network. And then if it's a bad network, they're going to tell me what to say and what not to say. And that's like all the big networks. They're all like that. Period. No exceptions. If I'm making big money doing this, and it's not just like I left YouTube to do something else, it's like I'm on YouTube and I'm making big money doing this, they're telling me what the fuck to say. Straight up. They're telling me exactly what to say. They are dictating my content before I can create it. And sometimes it's not a problem. I mean, especially if it's, what's big on here? Disney, Polaris, hello, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, I don't know of anything like that in regards to them whatsoever, but it wouldn't shock me if I looked over their contract and was in that same kind of position I've been in the past when working for shading marketing people, where it's like, yeah, this is not okay. This is not how we do business in the United States. You cannot tell someone that if they don't like a movie or they don't like a broadcast or they don't like a product, that they have to talk about it through this really mild context. You know, they can be critical of it, but they have to do this, you know, oh, you have to cover this and make sure you don't do that. And it's like, no, you hired us to be broadcasters, which means you understand that we understand all this stuff about how to do critiques and what it all means. So no, there's absolutely no justification under any circumstance for any network to hand any broadcaster or any media producer of any style, any form of contract that has anything to do with what they're going to produce. It only has to do with things like how you portray the brand, what you choose to promote, what other brands and trademarks you will associate by value of working with that group to their group. That's their concern as a business, and those are all very valid concerns. If you read these contracts thoroughly, you'll find that that's most of what they're saying. But the problem is that you never know till you're in there. And Stevie has a very strong point in that element, that you know, you can't really move around your box as much. But at the same time, I don't know if it's quite as clear-cut as he fucking thinks. Because as far as I know, Repzion and Alpha Omega Sin are not signed up to some giant fucking network or anything. They're doing their own goddamn thing. They're like me. They're just doing their thing. So, you know, I think he's kind of placing them out in a special category, like these guys are like that. He may very well do that to me if he ever hears any of this, or if I do videos on this or whatever instead of audio. But yeah, it's kind of silly to a certain degree. It's like, look, dude, I don't know what your deal is on your end of the computer. I'm not in your damn house, but what we do here is all the same thing. Anita Sarkeesian, MrRepzion, Eruptide Podcast, Alpha Omega Sin, Amazing Atheist, Thunderfoot, maybe you as well, Armored Skeptic. Who else can I come up here with that is exactly like me? Yeah, I don't have anything else at the moment, but yeah, that's what it is. We're all the same damn thing. We're all pandering, we're all broadcasting, we're all doing our thing. And it doesn't just amount straight to scheming and straight into sleazy. It's hard to see that line. That's part of why I'm trying to get this podcast done and trying to get this like on the internet, is I see that line so damn clearly because I was told how to break it over and over and over again on a secured website where I downloaded every single podcast and I listened to every single thing and I watched all the videos, and they don't let anybody on that website unless you're working for that marketing firm, ever. And I really wish I had saved a bunch of it and put a whole bunch of it aside, because that would be fucking awesome to just kind of play some of that shit. But I read my fucking agreements, just like I did before I'm doing this right here. And that would have been super bad if I had saved any of it. And it didn't end up going to a class action lawsuit, and it didn't end up being the kind of thing that I can talk about on the public record till I'm blue in the face. Like, if it hadn't gone that direction, and they, like, didn't have all that just sitting there as the black mark for their company name forever and ever and ever, then it would have been a big deal. It would have been like providing insider information, kind of like I might get in serious legal trouble. So I was just skipping that, like, whoa, wait a minute, kind of like, how investigative journalist do I want to get with this? I was skipping it with that thing because I never thought I was going to be doing this. But I'm regretting it now because it's very much like, oh, this is it. You guys don't get it. Stevie and so many of you out there, you don't fucking get it. You've never done this shit. You're fucking speaking out of ignorance, and that's fine. I'm not coming down on him because of it, but he is just fully speaking out of ignorance in the exact same way how Daniel does a lot of on his channel. And it pisses me off. It's like, no, look, you're all fucking panderers. You're pandering to the electronica scene or something. I'm pandering to the heady intellectuals. I'm trying to steal Thunderfoot's audience or something. You know, we're all fucking pandering. Anita Sarkeesian, pandering. Every person you've ever seen who's a broadcaster, who doesn't just say, here's what happened in the news today, here's the next song that's on. Everyone who does anything other than that, they call it talk. Anyone who does talk is pandering all the time. And that's what you do. Right now. That's what I just watched. You were pandering to me to watch that video. And you got me. Good job. So it's just something to understand about the fucking media. Fucking people don't fucking get this because they don't fucking do this and they don't study this shit. And I've been studying this shit when most of you were fucking babies in diapers and when some of other you were old folks and you're barely alive listening to this. And you know, I've been doing this a long fucking time. I'm sorry I wasn't more clear and easy to access before now. But shit, man. I mean, shit. But, yeah, I don't think he's going to end up in jail, buddy. That's a little off the charts. How's he going to get in jail? At most, the FBI will contact him and say, please don't insinuate that there's investigations ongoing that are not actually ongoing. Because that can get confusing. And people may believe within the court system, not within the fucking internet, within the court system, that there's like something on the docket that's not really there. That's a fucking problem. That's not good. We don't want that on any level. Well, I don't think that's MrRepzion who's gonna do that. That's what I've talked to Daniel about in his own comments if he ever reads them. That you're just a fucking e-famer. Get the fuck over yourself. And everyone on this website is like that, myself included. We get all puffed up in ourselves and we see our, you know, stuff get shared somewhere else one day and we get all like, oh my god, I'm so fucking cool. And you are, if you're big, whoever you are, you get a little bit of that. Not all of it, especially if you're an unethical piece of crap who I'm coming after all the time. You don't get all of it. You ruined it along the way there. But you get it. You get your moment. You get the sun. You get the spotlight. You get to be famous. But what the fuck does it mean? Where the hell is it all going? I like that some guy raises that question. But I don't know if he's really prepared to enter this fucking arena. Chances are, if I ever go compete with him, and I just may, at the field of creating original music and sound engineering, if I go and compete with him at that level, directly, he can talk to me like this all he wants when I fuck it up or whatever. Like, he can fucking tear me to pieces. Because I can tell, because I've been around these people before, not just in the internet, that he's good at it. He's really good at it. So, yeah, like, he can fucking tear me to shit in that respect. And I am tearing him to shit here, I think, when it comes to this stuff. Because it's like, yeah, that's great, man. Do you do much media production stuff? Like, is this something you, like, enjoy and, like, get into? I don't think so. Same thing with, like, journalism, ethics, validity of statements versus the non-need to back up things that fall in the category of punditry and idle commentary. You know, it's like, I don't even think that sentence I just said really registers with Stevie, and that doesn't mean he's stupid or anything. It's just like, it's not shit he fucking looks into, so he doesn't know about it. And I imagine the similar things going on with MrRepzion, where he's just not really aware of how the legalities work. And here he is just like, oh yeah, this happened. That's probably what's going on there. I don't know for sure. And Alpha Omega Sin, whatever. He like name dropped him. I'm name dropping him. Whatever. You know, I like that guy a lot. He's got really positive, cool content. Haven't watched a lot of it, but it's what I did, like 3 videos worth. I enjoyed it a lot. And I only first found him by the whole Anita Sarkeesian calling him out thing. You know, like I think he'd been mentioned before in something I was watching, probably the Drunken Peasants or something like that. But I never like went to his channel. I just like heard the name and that was it. And yeah, like that was the point where he got called out on Twitter by picture by Anita Sarkeesian. And I was like, really? Well, what does he do then? Like, is he like Repzion, where he's just all over the damn map, and it's like, oh my god, you know, is it like that? Or is it like he's got a very fine-tuned media product over there, and oh, look at that, it's option B. He's got a very fine-tuned media product over there. He's doing a damn good job at what he does. And that's kind of what I'm saying about Stevie, too, is he does a damn good job at what he does, which is make music. And he's pretty much said that in his videos before, too, that it's like, yeah, well, what he does is make music. He doesn't do, like, web content, do-do-do. Well, I do, mainly in blog format, getting into podcasting, might do all of these into the video, depends here. Yeah, so it's just something to understand, is there's lots of different people on this thing called the internet. And as soon as you go public feed status, as soon as you're making this right here, where you're out in the public square, and you're not some anonymous name or whatever, you're like an actual, like, go find my content kind of person, then you've entered into this realm that we're all in, where it doesn't serve us well to be anti-networks, it doesn't serve us well to kind of not take a stance on whatever little silly drama thing is going on for the day. It never, ever excuses shit like making stories up, but I'm not sure that's what Daniel's doing here, and he's so fast on this kind of thing where it's just like, oh, he's doing that, he's fucking doing that, and it's like, yeah, I don't know, I mean, shit, it would serve him to do that. You know, one of the ways to tell if someone is lying is to think, is there any motive to lie? So that's, I don't know, sounds right to me. But, you know, I'll watch Daniel's video here. It's another 5-minute-er. A little more 5 minutes of my time. I can do that. But, yeah, that's the deal with internet squabbles, is a lot of people approach these through, I'm gonna join the squabble. That's fine. But unless you can actually tack someone down or do this fucking thing called muckraking or investigative journalism or any of that, you are being a fucking idiot who's just standing there going, this is it, this is it, this is it. And he manages to do both. He's a weird one, Mr. Someguy827. He manages to do both all the time. It's friggin' weird. He does all the, this is the way it is and shut up. And then he just comes right back into this like humble, like, actually I don't really know how to do the internet journalism, internet journalism. I don't really know how to do that. I just want to share my opinions. And it's like, well, that's cool. The second one is way cool. And the first one gets annoying. Really fucking annoying. Really fucking fast. So that's just how the internet is. It's not really bad going with option A or B until you've actually broken the fucking law in the process. But what exactly that is in breaking the law, I don't know if there's more than like 2 people on this fucking website that understand that shit other than me. Oh, you internet people should so be kissing my butter right now. My butter needs some kissing. Because I'm on fucking Kotaku. Oh, let's see, do they back anything up? That's always the problem with these fucking websites. Whole bunch of statements and nothing to back it up. Okay. The Game Developers Choice Awards ceremony reportedly threatened with a bombing. This is news to me. SFPD got involved. The organizers decided not to tell the audience, which usually means that there's not an actual threat, that it was an attempt to disrupt the event or cancel it by individuals who have no such means to carry out said action. Yeah, she's gotten threats. This is true. It's very wrong to do that for any reason. I don't know why she talks about it in public so damn much, though. I really don't. Okay, here we go again. People who don't know how to fucking do journalism, who are on the goddamn internet, Oh, what do you know? And oh my fucking god, what do you know? People who want to identify Gamergate/GG on the internet who don't know fuck about journalism. Oh my fucking god, I never would have imagined. Oh look, it's under the general news topic too. Oh. So let's see, they did some numbers listing here. They're saying that there's just no way in hell that MrRepzion sent that death threat. I don't believe he did, not at all. But they're saying here that he signed it with his real name and the hashtag Gamergate. Why would he do that? If he's nuts, and just crazy beans nuts, that's exactly what he would do. And I don't think he is, but if he was, that would be a perfectly logical explanation of why he would do that. They don't cover it. They present it as this, like, how do you know this shit for sure? Because of this reason. That's a bad fucking reason, without talking to Daniel and conferring with him and asking him if he has digital hard copies of some of the stuff he's referencing. You're talking out your ass. So fuck you, you're not the Gamergate that I want anything to do with, bye-bye. And the point number 2, before we leave their crappy, shitty blog, is that they wanted to check his hard drive. And he was willing to do that. And the other thing to know about that is you don't get a fucking choice in that if you're part of a criminal investigation, one way or another. And if MrRepzion understands any element of that, he knows that. He knows that if he tells them, oh no, you can't have any of my stuff, I'm invoking my rights over this, that they're just going to go get a warrant and get it that way anyway. And if you got nothing to hide, then you always hand it over. And if you got something to hide, then you might pull out your I got my rights. And if you got nothing to hide and you care about your rights, you might pull out the I got my rights thing, and it doesn't tell you shit. When someone is willing to be really transparent or is really guarded, it doesn't tell you shit. He could have fucking redacted the fuck out of his shit before they got there, and that's why he was so fucking handy with the hard drive. And he also could have absolutely nothing going on beyond exactly what you see on the internet every day that he does. Not every day, I don't know how often he posts. But, you know, all his stuff, there's nothing more to it. That's a possibility. It's just him on the internet, nothing more. And he doesn't lie, and all this is true. That's one possibility. And another one is, he's a total fucking whore, and he's making all this shit up. So yeah, neither side has given me shit. You're just a bunch of fucking liars on the fucking internet, picking your sides and not giving a goddamn about what the hell is going on here. I'm looking at the author's name of this right now, and I'm not gonna fucking say it, because fuck your goddamn popularity. I'm about 2 minutes 30 seconds in this video, and I already know what the fuck is going on. He's gonna keep talking and I'll finish it. But what the fuck is going on here is someone used his moniker, his web name, his writer's pseudonym, whatever you want to call it. They used his nickname to do this. Now, he's saying it wasn't him, like affirmatively. And he's also saying that the authorities have contacted him through official channels and done this stuff. There's no reason to believe that that's not the case. To address what Someguy827 was saying about this video, yeah, there's no reason whatsoever to think that that's not the case. We're talking about bomb threats. We're talking about actually verifiable elements. That's called cyber harassment most of the time. Yeah, like those things are illegal. Those things are like a real element of the digital era, and they really do happen where the cops show up and the FBI shows up and whatnot. And there's a whole bunch of things that everybody's done on the internet that they're not proud of. Is another thing to raise here. That's why I'm not too tough on Daniel. That's why I'm not going to be tearing the living shit out of Greg on here. Is because there's plenty of crap that people do online. It's the kind of stuff that's in their personal life too, where maybe it's not the greatest thing to be putting online there, buddy. But they do it anyway, and it's an open and free medium, so I'm going to criticize them as I feel like it, more than it's my focus to tear the shit out of everyone, you know? But yeah, I think it's unfounded what Someguy827, Stevie, was saying about Danny. I don't think that works. No. This probably really did happen. It's probably the case. Why it would happen now, what the whole deal is. When did he post this? Is this today? No, it's a little old. It's a couple days old. No, this probably really happened. They were trying to verify for sure through the investigation channels whether or not his moniker was being misused or whether it was really him. They probably knew that it wasn't him, but they needed to, like, fully verify it. They needed to hear from his mouth, not across the fucking internet airwaves, through his mouth, directly. Yes, I did not write that comment. You know, if it came down to it, I would testify in court that I did not make it. It is not me. Wrong person. Someone misused my moniker in this fashion. Happens to writers all the time. It's called plagiarism. And oh my, do I not envy anybody, like MrRepzion or just anybody, who gets plagiarized by someone who's a frickin' psychopath. If that's all that's going on here, I got massive respect for what Daniel's had to deal with, and I'm a little bit pissed off at Stevie for just jumping the fucking gun. But at the same time, it's like, what do you expect out of people? You know, it's like, I expect both these dudes to jump off the fucking gun all the goddamn time. Just like the person I was just reading, which sucks. And my content is awesome and their content sucks. So yeah, that's the world we live in today, folks. A lot of people get their selves heard, and not a lot of people give a fuck what they're putting out. Let's do some more of the cutting room floor type content. I think I've said too many times into the internet about how I won't put things into the internet. So let's do a lot more of the things that I'll just put into the internet, which would be me jumping into like a 2-3 day old drama here between Someguy827 and MrRepzion. Both YouTube users, both recognized. Stevie gets the big creds with the GG catch. Ka-ching! Right on the damn money. Good work, good work. I get the ding for the fucking internet aristocrat thing until everyone gets it. Nobody had that. Mundane Matt thinks he like knows the guy or something. Really? Really? Yeah. It sucks you couldn't get Alec Baldwin on a microphone, dude. Yeah, anyway. What I'm doing right now is doing the audio for Extra Cut, Someguy827 versus MrRepzion. Separate video, not a Reptide podcast. Just me fucking cutting audio like crazy. Like this is my job now. Well, wait a minute. This is my job now if I say it is. At least for a little while. While the money holds. While the artist rolls. While the juices is flowing. We're just gonna get it going. And let it all rock like nobody's gonna stop. And everybody knows when I'm gonna stop talking because I ain't ever done talking. I just keep talking. There's another podcast coming. There's another podcast coming.